Why do senior leadership roles lack diverse representation? Imagine walking into a room full of leaders and noticing that most of them look alike. That's often how the picture of senior leadership in the United States appears. Despite the country's rich mix of cultures, backgrounds, and genders, top executive roles are still mostly held by a narrow group. The reasons behind this are tied to how our workforce has developed over time and the barriers many face along the way. First, the numbers tell us that white males hold over 70% of the highest leadership positions in major companies. For example, in the top 100 federal contractors, about 71% of executive roles are filled by men. Women make up about 29%, and minority groups are only around 13%. These figures reflected long-standing patterns in employment and career growth opportunities. Second, racial and ethnic minorities are underrepresented compared to their share of the population. Black Americans make up roughly 14% of the population, but only about 1.6% of Fortune 500 chief executive officers. Hispanic and Native American leaders are also very few in number. This gap shows that many face barriers to moving beyond entry and middle levels. They often lack access to the networks, mentors, and sponsorships that help people climb the career ladder into top roles. Third, gender disparities remain as a challenge. Women hold about 32% of senior leadership roles overall, but only around 10 to 12% of the most powerful positions like Chief Executive Officer or Chief Operating Officer. Women of color face even more obstacles, with only 1 in 16 women of color holding top leadership jobs. Factors like workplace cultures that do not support work-life balance, expectations to act in traditionally masculine ways, and public pressures contribute to higher turnover among female executives. Fourth, organizational and structural issues also play a big part. Many companies tend to promote people based on existing networks and traditional profiles, which often favor the same type of candidate. Some sectors have seen a decline in diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts, which are essential for developing diverse leadership. Socioeconomic factors also matter, as unequal access to quality education and leadership training makes it harder for minorities to reach the top. Implicit biases and stereotypes influence hiring and promotion decisions at the highest levels, further limiting diversity. Lastly, the visibility of diverse leaders influences how inclusive workplaces are. When leadership reflects the diversity of the broader population, employees tend to trust and engage more. Lack of representation can make it harder for organizations to attract and keep talented individuals from different backgrounds. To change this, companies need to strengthen their diversity and inclusion programs, especially those focused on leadership pipelines. They should adopt fair hiring and promotion policies that reduce bias. Providing mentorship and sponsorship opportunities for underrepresented groups is also key. Creating a workplace culture that values different leadership styles and supports work-life balance can help more women and minorities reach the top. Overall, the data shows that senior leadership roles lack diverse representation because of historical exclusion, ongoing structural barriers, and workplace practices that limit opportunities. Progress is happening, but it is slow and uneven. Continued efforts are needed to build leadership teams that truly reflected the diversity of the United States.